Hey, Topping Airlines Math and History, and we're gonna take a look at box and whisker plots. So, when you hear the term box and whisker plots, you might be thinking about cats do have whiskers, but box and whisker plots have to do a lot about data and statistics, which are basically the same thing. So, with the data we have here, these are all the scores that were scored from skills challenges in a Vex robotics game. When you build a robot and you play a game, you get to score points, and the higher score usually wins the match. So, these are scores from different teams that tried the skills challenges. It's an actual event. So, a box and whisker plot actually understands where the data is, what the median is, what the min, max, and where the majority of all the data is. To easily understand that, we gotta put all the numbers from the least to the greatest number value so we can understand what the median is first. Let's get started. So what we did is put the scores in order from the least to the greatest numeral value, instead of having a bunch of messy numbers that are scattered all over a piece of paper. When we do that, we can understand what the median is, and we can also understand what the quartiles are. So let's find the median. What you may have done in the past is place one finger on the largest number and place another finger on the smallest number and try and get to two numbers where two fingers meet. But there's actually a faster way of doing it. We can count how many numbers there are, divide by 2, and see what the median is. Remember, the median is always going to be the middle number when you have it in least to greatest numeral value. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So if we put 22 right here, n is going to represent numbers, it's going to equal 22. So we should be able to get two medians since there are an even number of numbers on the piece of paper. So half of 22 is going to be 11. So we start at 180 and start at 20 and count 11 upwards and downwards. So we count, do not count 180, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We put that right here. And we also count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 right here. So 114 and 117 is going to be our median. But there's one problem. We want a median that's only one number. So there is going to be a split between the two. We have to find the average between the two, and that will become our middle number. To find the average of two numbers, we have to add them both, 114 plus 117, and we have to divide by 2 since we want the middle number. So when we do that, we get an answer of 231, but when we divide that by 2, we get an answer of 115.5, which is going to be in the middle of 114 and 117. That is our median overall of the 22 numbers. 115.5. That is representing Q2 or the second quartile. So what we have here is a table that is going to represent the minimum, the 25% line, the median, the 75% line, and the maximum. The maximum is going to be the largest number of the order. So we can say that 180 is going to be the maximum because that's the biggest number listed on the chart. We can also say that the minimum is 20 because that's the smallest number that's on the chart. There is one problem. What is Q1 and what is Q3? Q1 represents the 25th mark line, and Q3 represents the 75th mark line. But how do we calculate those? To find the first quartile, or Q1, that is going to be the median of the median. So, what we have here is Q2, or the medians. What we're going to do is go 114 and 20 and try to find what the median between the two numbers are. So when we do that, we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and half of 11, since we want to try to get the medians, is actually 5.5, but we don't want any decimals. We're going to say 5. So we're going to count from 114, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're also going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 80 is going to be the smaller median, or the 25th mark, our first quartile. What about the other one? We actually do this exact same thing, but on the farther, larger side. That's the 75th mark. So we count 117 and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 numbers again. Half of that is going to be 5. So we're going to count from 180 and 117. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we also get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 150 is actually going to be our 75th mark, or our third quartile. That is 150. So we have completed this chart. This will allow us to understand the whisker plot better. But what does a box and whisker plot look like? This is what it looks like if you see it in the math world. This is called a box and whisker plot because there are two boxes and the ends are called whiskers. The whiskers are going to be the minimum number and the maximum number. Those are where the differences between the two are. And the two boxes represent where the majority of all the Whisker Plot scores are. The middle line represents Q2, or the middle number, or the median. This one right here represents the third quartile, or 75%, and the second one represents the first quartile, or 25% of the entire data. So let's see what the box and whisker plot looks like when we insert our data into this app called NumWorks. It's really cool and it works very well. You should get the app. Let's get started. Okay, so looks like we have all of our data. Let's look what happens if we go into box and whisker plot and see what it looks like. So, this is what our box and whisker plot looks like. The minimum, or the far left, and the maximum, the far right, indicate which numbers is the least and the greatest, and the stuff and the data in between represent the middle number is the median. That is the third line. Right here is the first quartile. That is our 25% mark. And here's our 75th% mark, the third quartile. And at the maximum, we use the 100% as full data. We use that as 100%. If we go look at the minimum, we say that's 0%. About our data, the majority of the scores from the robotics meet or the robotics skills challenge is a lot of the teams got above 80 points. That is the 25% mark. The reason why 20, 20, 60, and 70 are not shown on this graph is because they represent this empty red line right here, meaning that the scores are actually far apart from each other. The boxes indicate that most of the teams are around this area. Like some parts of the team got a score above 120 points. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 teams. So pretty much 9 teams are in this box right here, the third quartile. So the minimum is 20, the first quartile is 80, the median is 15.5, the third quartile is 150, and the maximum is 180. And this is what a box and whisker plot looks like and how we can understand data and statistics from them. I hope this video has helped you. Thank you for watching Tao Penalized Math Industry. Like and subscribe.